So there is a story in the Bible when Jesus was questioned by a religious expert who was just basically trying to trick him, and the guy asked him, "Teacher, which is the most important commandment in the law of Moses?" To which Jesus replied, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. This is the greatest commandment. A second is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself." And I just want to focus on the part when Jesus says that loving others is basically equally important as loving God. Because I feel like sometimes we kind of underestimate how important this love really is. I mean, a simple act of love can literally change someone's whole life without you even realizing it. But I just want to ask you, do you really love others? Do you really show love towards the people you find annoying, or you find weird, or you just don't like in general? So I was at this Christian camp this summer, and the pastor there was sharing a testimony on how when he was a kid and he was at a Christian camp, there was this one kid who was always alone. He didn't have any people at his lunch table, and it was just very visible that he just had no one to talk to. And the thing is that people could see that he was sad, people could see that he was upset, but almost nobody came to talk to him. Most of the people at the camp, they just kind of ignored him, and so they just didn't want to be looked at in a weird way, I assume. So one day when the camp ended, they were all in the bus, and the pastor there was in the back with all of his friends, and they were just looking forward to have a good time, to just play some songs or to just have some nice conversations, play some games. But then he actually noticed that one kid who was always alone at the camp, sitting alone in the front again. And at that moment, the Holy Spirit actually spoke to the pastor to go and talk to that guy. But at the moment, the pastor didn't really want to go talk to that guy, and he was just like, "Lord, why does it gotta be me who has to go talk to that weird guy?" But eventually he got the courage and he just went to go talk to him. And after that conversation, the pastor actually found out that the kid was about to leave Christianity and all of his faith behind because he didn't feel like God really cared about him, and because he didn't feel any love at the camp. And if no one came to talk to him that day, the kid would have just abandoned his faith because he didn't really feel like God really cared about him. But he changed his mind just because of a simple conversation, just because of a simple act of obedience and love towards someone else. And I just love this story so much because it just shows how a simple act of love, such as talking to someone else, can literally change that person's life. And I just feel like we too should strive to be more obedient to the Holy Spirit and listen to what He has to say to us and love other people, even if it may damage our social status and how people look at us. And Christ did the same thing for us. He went out and died for us weak, with a lot of people making fun of Him, with a lot of people mocking Him, so that we can be saved. So I think that in a similar way, we should also show this love that Christ showed us to other people, so we can bring them closer to God. And I just want to say that don't be ashamed of the life Christ wants you to live, because honestly, me personally, I struggled with this myself. I always cared too much how people view me, and it just got to the point where it got in the way of what Christ wants me to do. And maybe you're struggling with this yourself, but what really helped me is to realize that I am not here on this earth to live for other people. I am here on this earth to live for God and to bring other people to Him. I know it's very challenging to show love towards the people you don't like, because other people might look at you weirdly. Your friends might be like, "Yo bro, why are you talking to that weird guy?" But when you see how that simple act of obedience actually changes someone's life, that really encourages you a lot, and it grows your faith. And I know that sometimes you might think that, "Oh, what am I gonna say to that person? Or what if I just freeze up and stutter?" And I struggled with this myself. But I just want to let you know that every single time I obeyed God, every single time I listened to His Spirit and did what He called me to do, He never failed me. No matter how much I thought that He's gonna fail me, He never failed me. So I hope it encourages you, and yeah, I should stop yapping now, because yeah.